So this is Christmas.
I absolutely hate videos like this one. You guys had a conversation, you agreed that there were going to be no gifts, but you secretly expected him to get you one, but you didn't want to get him one. What in the mind games? He didn't ignore you, he didn't forget about you, he didn't disrespect you. In fact, he respected your boundaries. He respected the conversation you guys had, that no gifts were going to be a thing. And these traps are absolutely ridiculous and way too common and normalized today. If you wanted a surprise for him to put in effort, then you should have said that. If you wanted him to get you a gift, but you secretly didn't want to get him one, not fair at all to him, but you should have said that. And as a woman who's more of a minimalist that doesn't like owning a lot of stuff, when I tell my man I don't want gifts, I genuinely mean it. I'm actually like a little I feel bad when he gets me gifts. It's like, you really didn't have to. And I mean that fully. But because of videos like this, a lot of men don't feel like they can do that because they feel like they're secretly going to make you upset or mad. And I constantly hear women saying, I want a man that listens. I want a man that hears me. Well, he heard you and now he's in trouble. This type of thing is why a lot of men have walked away from dating. It builds resentment over time. And men don't like sitting around being confused. It seems like with holidays, men can't do anything right. If they buy you a gift when you said you didn't want one, they're in trouble. If they don't buy you a gift when you said you didn't want one, they're in trouble. If they don't spend enough money, they're in trouble. If they spend too much money, they're in trouble. I mean, I've seen countless videos scrolling social media of women cooking in the kitchen and men watching the game, and these men are being shamed for it, even though they probably work pretty much every single day. Maybe they get their weekends, but a lot of men work 40 to 60 hours a week providing for their families. And the one day that they get to sit and watch the game and fully relax, that's when they're shamed. They're posted on social media as being bad partners. Oh, it's a joke. It really isn't though. And the ultimatum at the end, oh, I guess he wants to be single next year. A lot of men hear that as, okay, one mistake and you're replaceable. They don't see that as a joke. That's basically a threat or an ultimatum. He didn't act right, so he's going to be single. What? Men internalize these types of patterns very quickly. It's like, okay, we can sit down and have a conversation like grown adults, both agree on a very specific thing, and he can still be wrong at the end of that. That's how you get a man that's constantly second guessing and overthinking situations, which unfortunately we know a lot of women lose attraction when a man does that, which is ridiculous. Because in a lot of situations, I see women build a relationship like this where he has to be on eggshells, where he has to constantly be worried, and then she gets mad at him and loses attraction for him because he's worried and on eggshells. Holidays turn into audits. Holidays turn into traps. Instead of it being like a fun little day, you guys do the things that you want. You spend some quality time together. And there's a lot of men out there who have zero issue getting their woman a gift. They just want to know that you actually wanted a gift. And, some input from you on what you specifically want. Because sometimes you see people not give any input and then they get mad at what the gift is. You didn't help at all. Oh, he should just know what I want. Well, he doesn't know if you're running low on moisturizer or something and you want another one. He doesn't know if maybe you're trying out a new brand and maybe you just didn't like the one you had, so you're gonna get a different brand next time. He doesn't know these things. On Threads in the morning of Christmas, I was actually scrolling through and holy cow. I don't know if it's my algorithm pushing the content to me, but there were hundreds of women saying, my boyfriend didn't get me anything. My husband didn't get me anything. Or I hated the gift they got me. And it's like, yes, I felt some empathy for some of the women. But then there was a part of me that was like, okay, how many of these women sat their man down and they had that conversation? How many of these women didn't get him a gift either? And maybe throughout their entire relationship, she's like, oh, I don't like gifts. I don't want stuff. And then she's posting later because she changed her mind after a few years of dating him. And now he's in trouble. But she never exactly updated him about her new stance. But it was baffling how many women were on Threads shaming their man for this and that for Christmas. But I genuinely wonder how many of these women talked to their man beforehand and laid out kind of what they're hoping for or their expectations. And was there open enough dialogue where he could communicate what he wanted and what he needed for the holiday to be special? Because those types of conversations need to go both ways, and both people's wants and needs matter. But too often we see situations where women want a man to read her mind, and then she gets upset when he doesn't quite get it right. And too often the door is closed where when he wants to bring up what's bothering him, it's not taken seriously. He's told to man up, or is just ignored or deflected or minimized, and he doesn't get what he wants either.